Hello and welcome to a very somber episode of the Scoreboard Addicts podcast as we celebrate or remember the 2023-2024 New York Rangers as their season is now done. They're losing Game 6 2-1. And this is my NPR voice, if you're wondering why I'm talking so low. This fucking sucks. I just, as we just started, I was like, TJ, I'm sick of doing these fucking post-mortem podcasts where the Rangers are not winning the Stanley Cup. This fucking sucks. First round exit last year against the Devils. Now, 2 years ago, we had that awesome run, unexpected, with a young team. And they lose to Tampa Bay Lightning after going up 2-0. And this series is probably reminiscent of that one, where Igor was all standing on his head again. Yeah. And the Rangers it was a 2-1 lead this time. They didn't win the first two, but took a 2-1 lead. You figure 2 wins away from a Stanley Cup final and lose 3 straight. So
listen, the Rangers absolutely pulled a Jeffrey Epstein and killed themselves. They were in full control. They were the team to beat. I mean, the offense this year was tremendous. And then all the people that we leaned on to get here absolutely collapsed under the weight that was thrown upon them, right? Yeah. They literally just gave up. They didn't want it enough. They weren't hungry. It looked like Carolina kind of kicking them in the teeth and slowing down that series. That's where they kind of stalled out. They get away with that series, right? They almost get lucky because Carolina was kind of having their way with the Rangers towards the end of that series, but the Rangers pull it out, ride the momentum coming off the Caps win, and what do we have, 6 wins in a row before we took a loss? So
7 wins in a row.
7. And it just fizzled out on us, right? And you have Panarin just show up tonight, too little, too late. Zibanejad being an absolute mess, inconsistent defense, and then just inconsistent effort and heart. Like, that's what it comes down to. The Panthers wanted it more. The Panthers, showed up every night to go to war, essentially, and the Rangers were on their heels and reeling, and you could tell, like, every game was just a tentative, nervous game where they were trying to just haphazardly create offense that was just from the outside, not good, high-quality chances. Valaket does those stat pie graphs that shows, chances, what goals should go in, how many goals the Rangers should end up with, and consistently the Rangers in the series were ending up with more goals than they should have in those stat things because they were not creating high-quality scoring opportunities. It just wasn't there.
And, too, it's frustrating. Obviously, we always anyone who talks about the playoffs is a little bit of puck luck, right? You need a couple bounces to go here and there. Like, it's not all about skill. Sometimes you just need a little. The Rangers just could not get that. Like, there's 2 instances when you think about that. Is that I think it was Game 4. On the power play, and like they had a lead at that point. Or it was a tie game, whatever it was. And Mika has that shot over Bobrovsky, hits nicks just his shoulder, hits the post, and it goes straight down. And that puck could have bounced anyway, and it bounced the other way, away from the Rangers, to Florida's benefit. And then he had it again today, where it was the rebound off of Bobrovsky went right towards Mika's stick, and it just skipped over it. The net was wide open. He could have just tapped it in for an easy goal. They even said the Rangers bench jumped up because they thought it was in the back of the net because it was right there.
Right.
And it's just one of those things. Those are 2 things that go Florida's way, changes the complexion of each game. Especially tonight, that would have tied the game in 1-1. Who knows what happens? But it is what it is. It's a sad day.
It's what sucks is Ranger fans are taking it harder than the fucking team is, because you could just, like I said, they didn't have that drive. They didn't have the live or die attitude. Go there, go kill yourself in battle every night. It just wasn't there, and especially for the top 6 forwards, it's just like, what are we doing, guys?
Yeah, it just seemed like Mika just had nothing left in the tank. And like, I'm not just saying tonight. I'm saying like halfway through the postseason, he just didn't good. I think Fox is playing on one leg. He's injured.
Yeah,
he's still out there playing. Panarin just, I get, like, I know the focus goes on Panarin at that point. When he gets to the postseason, he's the best scorer, but he's a ghost. Kreider, besides that hat trick, it was a huge moment. But what else did he do for us besides that?
The thing with Kreider, and not to give him a pass, but you kind of almost have to because of his game, right? Chris Kreider is not going to be the guy to carry the puck through the neutral zone, take it over the blue line, and do a little dangle and rip a top corner shot. That's not his game, right? No, Chris Kreider is going to be camped out in front of the net and ready to take either a one-touch pass, a deflection, or just a bullshit bounce garbage goal. And the guys on his line can't get the puck to the net. Mika Zibanejad took all of I think 11 shots this whole friggin' series, shots on goal.
Yeah.
So you essentially eliminated Chris Kreider because, like I said, he's the guy in front of the net that's going to try to just anything that comes that way, low, off the pads, a rebound, he's going to try to dig it up or get a deflection goal. And the guys on his line just weren't getting the puck to the net. So it almost neutralized Chris Kreider then.
Yeah. And I think they threw on Weinberg and Roslovic. Listen, I'm not down.
Not playing Rempey tonight set the tone. I'm sorry. I don't give a fuck what people say. I said not playing Rempey tonight set the tone.
I get what you're saying. I just don't feel like Rempey played 3 minutes last game.
It
shortens the bench. I get
right, but that's on Laviolette not utilizing them the correct way. How are you fucking essentially? Yeah, dude, you're on your last legs and you just refuse to let this kid go out and start something, right? Mm-hmm. You let the Panthers get in your head. They're back checking, forecheck, and just merciless attack on the Rangers, physically. And the answer that the Rangers had on their bench, they didn't utilize once. I hate that whole, that's not the Rangers way, blah, 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 blah. It's like the same people that will sit there and defend Jacob Trouba fucking throwing elbows everywhere don't want the game to be physical and nasty and that old school, you know what? Go out there and beat your will into somebody, at least for a night. Give them something to think about. Maybe jump in their heads a little bit and draw a couple bad penalties because, all they're doing is trying to get back at you. But you have Florida come out fucking nasty right out the gate. You have Lomberg going nuts trying to hit everything that walks. And then you send Rempey out there the next game, and Rempey's literally 2.5 feet taller than this dude, and you don't send him after him at all. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's something too. But I was saying about Roslovic and Weinberg. Like, I'm not down in their ability. They're in the NHL. They're probably great players, play good guys. Probably one of the 2 worst acquisitions at a trade deadline. They did not produce anything. Weinberg had the 1 goal, obviously the OT goal. He had 1 goal prior to that in the season since they got him. It's not. But we have a guest waiting, so I'm going to bring in AK, and I don't leave him waiting too long because we were in the middle of talking. But AK, welcome back.
Oh,
AK, wait, hold on. Let me introduce you.
Oh, so yeah, sorry.
Welcome to the postmortem New York Rangers 2023-2024 Stanley Cup as we continue celebrating and remembering the life of the 2023-2024 New York Rangers. We welcome AK for the Millie Goats. AK, how are you today?
Like a eulogy.
Essentially what it is.
So not only
NPR.
Not only, dude, I literally was like, all right, I'm going to go down into the basement. I'm going to set up and we're going to change the tempo. And not as soon as I clicked go live, because I was on our channel, as soon as I clicked go live, I look up and the Panthers are celebrating. And I was like, you got to be shitting me right now.
Yeah.
You have got to be shitting me. That the minute I click the button and I look up, the puck, seeing eye, Miller gets his stick lifted, and then it goes through Schneider and Heedle, and there's Tarasenko, who hasn't scored since the solar eclipse, standing there back door, hammers it home. I was like, you've got to be shitting me. Like that's how they do it. They just throw some bullshit from the side wall along the goal line, and it hits somebody standing in front of the net. Goal.
It's really how like every game I feel like went that Lundell goal too in Game 5. I was watching my wife and I'm like, it's gonna be a bullshit goal coming up right now. The Rangers had action opportunity to score in that game, and then the puck comes right back and Lundell scored. I looked at my wife, I was like, I told you, bullshit goal out of nowhere. It'd be like they haven't had any chances. They'll just get some bullshit goal.
If I'm Laviolette, I'm going to make them practice for 66 minutes every freaking practice to make sure that they know that you cannot, for the love of God, give up a goal in the last minute of the period again. How many times has that happened? It's happened at least 3 or 4 times in this series.
Yep.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's one of the most frustrating things.
When they did that, did everybody just go like, again? Or you like what? How?
Like totally deflating. It just sucks the energy out of it sucked the energy out of the Garden the other night. It sucks the energy out of the team. What little energy they have. It's completely obvious now. And the question has to be raised. It doesn't matter how good you are during the regular season. When it comes to the postseason, Panarin cannot create space and is not used to having somebody on top of him. He just can't create space in those situations on that tight forecheck, and he's just ineffective. Now, you've eliminated Panarin. The second playoff hockey starts, and people are on you like white on rice and not giving you an inch. He doesn't know how to create space. And like you can't get this deep in the playoffs and sit there and rely on fourth line guys to generate offense. It's a fucking joke.
Yes. They didn't, and that's what somebody sent me a message. Eric sent me a message that said Bobrovsky's allowed 2 or fewer goals in his last night. I'm like, it has nothing to do. I mean, he's good. There is not a single chance that comes from inside the dots to the crease. Yep. Nothing. Not a single nothing. You could drive 3 Zambonis through there when the Florida Panthers are playing defense. I mean, it's not like we can't sit here and be like, oh, the Panthers. No, the Panthers are good. Are they great?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. Their offense is not good enough.
No.
It's like I was saying earlier. They are the equivalent of the San Francisco 49ers, the Panthers. They don't have any, they've got a bunch of really talented players everywhere. Their offense is, if we get a lead, you are in dog shit right now. We are going to make your life a living hell. But you watch them play, and it's like, if you can get up and make them uncomfortable, they're in trouble, because then they have to leave their format. And like, you're waiting for this Rangers team that's high flying, speed all over the place, we thought, talent all over the place, we thought. Nothing. They couldn't get out of the zone. They couldn't get in the zone. And, they played along the boards and behind the goal again, which is like, what is this? We haven't seen this all year. What, did we just suddenly become the Carolina Hurricanes? No.
Yeah, that was one thing I was watching the game. Well, obviously all serious long, but tonight I was like, there are a lot of times the Rangers just threw the puck in front or like try to get a pass across, and there's always just a Panther right there.
Like, well, it's just Chuck. They're just like luck Chuck passes, though.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying but like as AK was saying, like you could. Panthers could go right through our defense, no problem. Like the Panthers' defense is always someone in front of Bobrovsky, right? Mm-hmm. Like every time the Rangers got in front, they had a center pass. It never got through because there's always a guy. There's always a Panther right in front of Bobrovsky,
and they have their stick on the ice.
Defense. Yeah,
right. But
sticks on the ice. Our guys look like they're out there, skating down a bowling alley. The pass
they weren't driving the middle though. That's the whole thing. They were afraid to drive the net. They literally just abandoned ship on driving the net, and everybody's standing around the outside as if, Zibanejad is now what's his face from the Capitals?
Ovechkin.
Ovechkin. Just waiting for one-time passes that he's going to heel and miss the net. about 70% of the friggin' time. Like that's not working. Like setting up, especially on the power play, that little point pass to that wing and just ripping one-timers. They have 3 of their 4 guys clogging up the fucking box in the middle. The puck's not even getting to the net. Like drive the net, one pass here, one pass there, and get some dirty goal by just absolutely getting in Bobrovsky's face, because that's the one thing they didn't do all series long. But the Panthers did not miss an opportunity to take a little run at Igor. So
they did this same shit last year against the Devils. They made Akila Schmid or whatever the hell his name was look like Ed Belfour.
Yeah,
they're like, this young goalie is really good. I'm like, no, everything's coming from the they're out there throwing BP to him.
Yeah,
right.
And the thing is too, like with in Game 3 when they won the overtime game, Lafreniere, his goals came from coming straight up Bobrovsky, like just coming straight up the ice and going right there. Like, why did you abandon that? You guys scored 5 goals in that game.
I mean, how many times do we sit up here every night and we're like, we want to see, get out of the zone, get through the neutral zone, go down the middle of the ice. Like, if we're seeing that, and the greatest minds in hockey apparently behind the bench that keep getting hired, or how are you not seeing this? Is there something we're missing?
Yeah.
No, I just don't get it. And I think a lot of things are going to change next year with this roster. I mean, the fact that you had those 6 guys just disappear, those top 6. I mean, besides Lafreniere and Trocheck, you really didn't get much production out of those guys out of this series. And it's frustrating. And it's like, where do we go from here? Like the window's closing. Like these guys are getting older. 2022 was a pleasant surprise. Made it to the same thing they pretty much did this year. But this is a year where like we expected them to do something. We expected them to be more than just an Eastern Conference final team. We expected a Stanley Cup final appearance at least. And you win the President's Cup. You have the most wins in Rangers history, most points in Rangers history. It's a historic season, and it comes up short like this. And it was listen, it was a tight series. They lost every game by a goal besides game 1. But you can't hang your hat on that. It doesn't matter at that point, And just very, very, it sucks. It's frustrating as a Ranger fan. My friend, my friend Tim reached out, who was in the middle of the game. He goes, "This just sucks. Like, this is infuriating. Like, what are we supposed to do? Like, when are we going to see this team finally go through?" And then he's like, I know TJ might like this one, but he's a Jet fan too. But he was like, "Maybe I'll have the Jets this year." LOL. Like that was like,
yeah, right.
It's just
Aaron Rodgers already clutching at his heel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget.
That's what Joe's point was. Just Jets, Rangers, and frustrating.
Who got us here was Barclay Goodrow and Vinny Trocheck.
Yeah.
And Shesterkin, obviously.
And Igor.
And Lafreniere. Like 3 heroes that Goodrow had to score 7 goals for us to get to this point.
It's insanity. It really is.
I don't know. I was Kusov. Looks like he's Kusov. I'm just sick.
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah.
She's a big Rangers. She's the reason I am a Rangers fan.
Nice.
Oh, really? Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I was like, who's this?
Yeah. Dude. The Trouba,
we're sick too. We're sick.
Trouba the Matador out there just, hey! See you later, dude, Sam Bennett.
I'm starting to think that like the Mark Messier Leadership Award and him giving it to him halfway through these playoffs was just like a sick troll. Like, yeah, here you go, you fucking asshole.
Joke.
You saw Messier in the intermission report. They were trying to call it over, and Messier was like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Whoa, okay, that was the first little bit of Rangers bias I've seen out of him." Like,
right?
But man,
he can't be happy either. Not just because of the Rangers and his connection to the Rangers, but imagine going on a TV program and it's like, "Oh, we got Mark Messier." He's like, "Ooh, who else we got to talk to me?" PK Subban. It's a joke, right? No? I got to talk to this fucking guy? Oh, okay.
The TNT crew is so much better. Gretzky. I'll even take Bisson now. I mean, Bisson hates the Rangers, but like I'd rather
at least Paul Bisson.
He's not shy about it, though.
Right? Yeah. Like he's not shy about it, and he allows himself to be the butt of the joke and acknowledges the fact that like he has 7 career goals.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to offense, he's gonna be the butt of the joke every time, and especially with Gretzky there, it's like he just hangs his head and takes the beating because what is he gonna say? But you have PK Subban trying to big time Messier all the time. Like, no. What they need to do is like Messier sitting there like, this motherfucker's telling me that guy's telling me what we got to do. Okay, pal.
Yeah, the TNT crew is 10 times better than this. And listen, I understand people. We've talked about this before. There's a little ESPN bias against New York, and people are like, "Oh, who gives?"
Dude, Ray Ferraro hates the Rangers. Ray Ferraro the Rangers kicked Ray Ferraro out off the East Coast, right? Yeah. He played for the Islanders for 5 years. Went to the Rangers the year after they won the cup. They allowed him to fucking insufferably play there for a year, and they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they sent his ass to LA for the first time in like 10 years. They sent him West Coast. And that's why Ray Ferraro absolutely hates the fucking Rangers.
I get it. But the thing is, the ESPN broadcast just isn't good. Like there was a time where, like, I'm gonna talk about like Sean McDonough, whatever. He's all right. It's just the production wise. There's no replays.
McDonough's not good.
I know he's not good, but he's whatever. It doesn't bother me as much as Ray Ferraro.
They throw him around all.
But production wise, you look at like the Rangers had an awesome opportunity. And the penalty gets called. I get you're talking about the penalty, but you just missed. Like, just show a replay of what the Rangers had a wide open goal. They basically just shot it and missed. Like, Bobrovsky was out of position. Let's just show that again. They don't show it. You have they're in the middle of gameplay. They'll cut to like another player on the bench. Or
dude, how about the middle? They'll be in the middle of a scrum. They'll be literally fists going and being thrown, and they'll be like, "Oh, and look at that little dog over there." It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah,
like I want to watch the scrum. I want to see who gets punched in the face.
And the Emily Kaplan interviews are just like, "Hey, your team's down right now. What are you going to do to make it better?" Like,
I read an interesting review about it. They're like, when you're watching the local broadcasts, I guess it was a Rangers fan. He's like, Sam Rosen, they're used to telling you a story and trying to visualize, be your eyes.
I did see that. That's as well, yeah.
And then ESPN's more involved about not storytelling, but
narrative.
Yes, the narrative. Like they want, so and so hasn't scored since, or they pull up all these bullshit stats or whatever. Like they're trying to capture the audience that might be tuning in instead of talking to the actual hockey fans. And that's where you lose me with McDonough. I'm like, I don't know how involved he was in hockey. Give me somebody who is a hockey nut, has been a hockey broadcaster, has literally risen through the ranks of hockey I mean, that's why people love Doc Emmerich so much.
Well, I was going to say, so you get rid of Doc Emmerich, who is an Islander guy, and yet you would never be able to tell if he was calling a Ranger series. And like, let's call it what it is. They got rid of one of the best fucking color guys in the game in Jeremy Roenick, because he made insensitive jokes about his wife and his wife's friend, who happens to be his friend, who's sitting there like, yeah, those jokes are great. That's why we're friends with them. Like, and fucking the NHL and ESPN and like, oh my God, we can't have this. No one's allowed to have a sense of humor about anything this crazy of a topic. Consenting adults fooling around about somebody else's wife being hot. Oh my goodness, no. Like, are we fucking serious? The guy was amazing. The guy would literally generate, some type of fucking interest in a game that it was a blowout, because he'd throw it in something that having to do with his home career, right? Or equate something to something of relevance, or just sit there and be like, oh, I'd love to go up against this guy. I feel like I could throw that guy a beat in a little bit. Like, and you'd be like, oh shit, awesome. We got beef going for no reason because Jeremy's around, sick.
Yeah.
And they get rid of people like that.
Yeah.
And those are people that you could hang your hat on, like they know hockey. It's like, whether I like this guy or not, I can't argue with Jeremy Roenick. Like I'm not you're unable to. And it's like, no, we gotta get rid of this guy.
I want Sean Avery. Sean Avery to get a job like the desk or a play-by-play or a color guy. He's awesome when he does the breakdowns.
This is great.
Like his Instagram and stuff.
He pulls no punches though.
What's that you said?
He pulls no punches though. Like,
yeah, that's why they won't put him.
You know what I mean? Like a Brad Marchand will get japped in the jaw and be like, "Fuck that midget. He deserved it." Yeah, like, you serious? Have you watched that guy's career the past 10 years? Punch him in the face again. Like, that's the last thing the NHL wants.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He'd be great for the fan. They get people
100%
watching.
They're worried about the casual fan. They want to encapsulate. It's like, man, if there's a lot more than just if you think that highly of yourself that you think you're broadcasting the people that are announcing the game are going to pull people in, you're a complete idiot. No, they teach them the game, not teach them the story of the game. Like,
Yeah.
give me somebody who's got a little pizzazz.
Yeah, they lose themselves on the fact that they don't understand hockey fan. Like, listen, in the United States, hockey is like the fourth sport, right? You got football, baseball, basketball, all come before hockey, and
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
It is
awesome.
It is, but
when it comes to
hockey fans in general are just rabid, like animals. You really don't have casual hockey fans, right? You'll have the one or two groups of like a fan base that comes on board, jumps on the wagon in their little podunk town because they got nothing else going on, right? If a random fucking Midwest team all of a sudden starts doing good, or happens to pop up like the Seattle Kraken, all of a sudden have some juice, new uniforms, all that stuff. It's going to happen now with the Coyotes moving to Utah. What are they going to be? Did they decide on the name yet?
Other rumors like Yetis or something like that.
The Yetis or the
Utes.
Utes.
The Mammoth.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're going to create some buzz, especially if they can get something going right away and be somewhat playoff relevant. You watch how fast that team creates a buzz just because they're the new thing. But there's not that many casual hockey fans. Like most hockey fans, the 90% that's going to sit there and tune in night after night are just overly aggressive, animalistic, rabid hockey fans that are sitting there listening to Sean McDonough like, no, that's not Jacob Trouba. That was Miller. Like, how do you not know how to read numbers, you motherfucker?
Yeah, how did they not lose their minds on? There was like 2 or 3 saves Shesterkin made where you're expecting like oh my God, what did you? And it was like he's literally out of his crease, full split, 2 kick saves, and it's like nothing happened.
Oh yeah, he manages to get in the way of that. It's like that's the statement you just made. He managed to get in the way of that, like as if he accidentally walked in front of the puck.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. We were talking about this before. It was like if the Rangers made a goal or had like a really nice play, it'd be like the Rangers score, and then the Panthers have like just a bullshit little fucking off a stick or deflection. Oh my God, the Panthers score! Like, and it's like, and like with Igor too. Like Igor was standing on his head the entire series, and at the end, I think Sean McDonough kept saying like the game was over. And he kept saying, like, Igor Shesterkin's, shaking hands with Bobrovsky, and he's Igor. You can't talk about can't talk more about how good Igor has been this series despite them losing. And then you have Ray Farrar going, well, you can't discount what Bobrovsky's been doing in this. Like, dude, just let him give him fucking credit. Like, why don't you're not hurting Bobrovsky's feelings or Panthers fans' feelings by saying that he's not, or that you're putting up Igor, seeing how good of a series he had. He had a good series. The Rangers lost, but he was very good. He was incredible this series.
He's the reason it was a series.
This game's over in 4.
Yeah.
This series over in 4 if it isn't for Igor.
Exactly.
Easily. Man, and it's okay to give him a little props there at that point, right? He's done. Bobrovsky's going to the Stanley Cup final. Like, let's take it easy. It's okay to just say for once, just by putting one guy up doesn't mean you're putting another guy down. We know Bobrovsky's a very good goalie, but he's also has a great defense and a great team in front of him compared to what Igor is dealing with. All right. And it just frustrates me. It's like, just give him his props. That's all I want.
Listen, the thing that the Rangers did well all year long, they didn't do well in the playoffs, and that's generate offense with their top 2 lines.
Yeah.
They were unable to do it this entire series.
Yeah.
And you're leaning on guys, and you're getting as far as you do off of, like, situationally, low percentage chances of getting wins like that. So it's you can't sit there and hope and pray that your role playing guys are going to show up for you when you can't get your top 6 to even come remotely close to what got you there in the first place. So
we got a ditto.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah,
we got a ditto. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Goodrow. Goodrow is the reason that they. I mean, the past 2 series, like Goodrow and Trocheck, like they were.
Yeah.
And you can see that Florida was like, okay, we're not letting 13 beat us. That's basically what they said today was Lafreniere is not getting through the ice.
No,
and somebody else is going to have to do that. He's the only power forward they have that can stick handle.
Yeah,
Kako to a certain degree, but then he'll turn into Luis Mendoza from the Mighty Ducks. He'll stick handle around him. You'll be like, holy shit! Oh, damn it!
Yeah.
yeah.
You're watching him like deke through everybody, and he's spinning and cutting on a dime and like stick handling and dangling, and then it's just like he falls down, and it's like, what?
He either falls or loses the puck. It was so frustrating. Like he has such talent, and I'm not saying like obviously he's what number 2 overall drafted. He has such talent. It just is not. I don't know. It just hasn't translated yet. And I get Lafreniere. We were patient with Lafreniere. He's the 1 overall pick. This year has been awesome for Lafreniere. He finally showed up being the 1 overall pick.
Yeah, well, he's old, fucking what, 23, going on 24 years old?
No, I know, but Kako's the same thing. Kako's like what 24 going on 25. Like, he's not
22 going on 23, I think, isn't he?
He's something like that. But
pisses
he
me
just
off
doesn't.
most?
He just not. It's just nothing there. Like I guess he's been hurt a lot. But I know we're a big Kako podcast. We had
Right. But look what last year he started to come on because they had a set line, they had the kid line, and that kid line got taken away from them. So like that equates for some of it because that line was perfectly set up with Heedle driving the net and getting the goals, and you had Kako feeding them essentially. Look, he had 30-something assists last year compared to like 12 the year before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he was figuring out his role on the team, and that dynamic essentially gets taken away from him. And I'm not trying to give the kid, an excuse, but if that's his game, that's his game.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what pisses me off the most?
Yeah.
He did miss Veazey out there big time. He played a huge role, especially on the penalty kill.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Edmonton is probably going to win, which would have been easily the best matchup for the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Edmonton, just not because we don't think Edmonton's good, but
because they're going to try to run and gun with you, and you're not going to outscore when you have Igor between the pipes for the Rangers. Yep. And Edmonton will give you the room to fucking play around with the puck and score because they just want to go north to south with you. Like, all right, you guys shoot, and then we go shoot, and then you guys shoot again, and then we'll see who wins at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh! And then you know what's going to happen is, I hope Florida wins it. I guess I don't know, but I would not be surprised if they do play Edmonton, and Edmonton just runs because they do have 2 horses that.
Right.
That's you're not messing around with that, but I would hope.
And if there's one team that will absolutely give you the refs will give you that series essentially because you could see that the refs were definitely not really Rangers biased there. They weren't too happy with the Rangers. They were kind of giving everything to Florida way. That ain't happening when the NHL has the Oilers in the finals. Mm-hmm. You are not getting any calls anymore, Florida. You're going to wake up to a vastly different series of nothing going your way, and everything is going to be scrutinized on you. Bennett's going to be running around doing his shenanigans. He's going to get called every friggin' time.
That wasn't there weren't many penalties called today. It was only 2, right?
I think it was only 2.
It was only Rangers had a power play, and they had 1. That was it. It wasn't much. The rest weren't really involved.
We gave them an easy game. The Rangers didn't show up with tenacity and fire and just grit in their belly. Right? They just showed up to. You got that first 5-minute burst from the team where it looked like they're going to really push the envelope, and then
do that.
Nothing.
They do that. They come out strong in the first period, and by minute 10 they're fucking done. Like it's
just burnt.
Brutal. But anyway, looking forward to the 2024-2025 season for these New York Rangers. What do you expect Drury to do with this roster? Do you think improvements? Do you think they don't have much room in the cap, so they're kind of fucked? This is such a fucking year. They had to get it done, and they just couldn't do it. I'm so mad. I think there's gonna be lean years coming. I'm not trying to be negative, but there's no cap money. A lot of money's there gone. So
put whoever you want to out there in front of Shesterkin is what it's going to be.
Yep.
So
they're going to do to Shesterkin what they did to Hank, and that's going to be fucking brutal.
Yep.
Yeah. I will say this. I am done with playoff beards. I will not be doing them anymore. I'm sick of the should I not. I'm sick of the back and forth between the group message. So I've already declared I'm going to get this statement notarized. I will no longer be doing playoff beers for this foreseeable future because they're annoying. They haven't worked. The only time they've ever worked is when I've been actually on the field playing. And so maybe I just have to give it up. So Ghost Crabs, still going to do that. If we ever get to the cup, I will get a Ghost Crab. But I am done with playoff beards. I'm done with the yo-yo for football season, for hockey season. I'm mailing it in right now. It has nothing to do with me. I did everything I could. We did everything we could. I mean, I laid it all out here. Well, look at us. We're out here. It's midnight, and we're putting sweat into these microphones right now. What else could we do? Everybody's crushing drinks, yelling at their TVs, switching chairs, changing jerseys. I mean, what else do you want from us? I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I've changed my jersey like 15 times this postseason. Just go back and forth. Which one works? Which one's working?
I polished off half the bottle that my wife bought of Antique Weller 107, which she bought on secondary. It's a pretty expensive bottle on secondary, and I'm not planning on replacing it because I ain't got the cash like that. And I kept going with it for my third period bourbon because the Rangers kept winning, and it was like, no, I'm not breaking it. I'll finish this bottle if I have to. Going through the good stuff to get there. Like, I'm putting the money in. We're putting the sweat equity in. We're putting the friggin' heart and soul. I mean, when the Rangers lose, I go to work every day and play with that line of, am I going to get fired for throwing somebody down a flight of stairs or not?
I'm out here risking my marriage. Just looking, being miserable. My wife having to watch TV with me when she's lucky the Knicks were eliminated early because it would have been even worse.
They robbed us of a Game 7 Monday. I wanted that. I wanted to go to work Monday and be like, all day, Game 7 tonight.
Yeah.
Game 7, trip to the cup, on the line. And now, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Just go to work and be miserable like the rest of us.
Now it's, baseball, yes, but I just don't get into, I love baseball, but I don't get into baseball.
It's too many games.
Football and hockey, give it to me. All of it.
Yeah.
I will say the one positive from this postseason is that my daughter has definitely, as a 4.5, almost 5-year-old, has definitely enjoyed watching Rangers hockey. Because she's definitely been like, the Rangers play tonight? The Rangers play tonight, Daddy? I'm like, yeah, they're playing tonight. She's like, all right, I want to stay up and watch it. I'm like, you could stay up. I let her stay up a little later than normal tonight because I told her, I said, this may be the end. I played that Skyfall song for her and she loved it.
Listen, dude, I mean, that you're a good father for getting your daughter into Rangers hockey early.
Yeah.
No boy will ever be able to break her heart like the Rangers could. So she's kind of setting herself up, like she gets barriers up right away. The little boy's going to be trying to break her heart out there, and she's like, yo, dude, I'm a Ranger fan. Fuck off. On to the next one, buddy.
She's going to be like,
bullshit with you.
If no one ever gives her a ring, she's like, it's fine. I'm a Ranger fan.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting a T-shirt pulled over their head and get the old uppercut a couple times on a bad date. Oh, you want to split the check?
It was funny. On Thursday, she was asking me. She's like, how would you hit someone if they're coming on, like if they're scared? I'm like, baby girl, I'm not gonna come over and show you how to.
Well, as Rangers fans, if you do the trooper, you just lay them to the side like this and let them walk in there for a one-time upper 90, take your liquor license.
I mean, that's a missed opportunity. Shame on you, Rook. That's a missed opportunity. You sit there and you're like, you want to see how it's done? Mommy, come in here for a second, and then you just under-end her. Like, you just take her legs out with a nice hip check. You're like, that's how you deliver a hit, especially old school. You get nice and low. And you're right, babe. Mommy needs a nap. But that's how you get low on somebody, sweetheart. Then you just start fucking ordering pizzas and shit to your house so you can get somebody else. He's standing outside with his stick and gloves, waiting to put people up against the wall of your house.
She was funny. She's into it. Then the Rangers gave up that goal. She turns to me and my wife and she goes, "Oh, that's embarrassing."
Yep. That is very look, kids are my son's the same age. He's 5 and he's been watching the games with me, which has been really cool. He's gonna be heartbroken tomorrow. Same thing happened in the Super Bowl. He woke up and that stupid little balloon that we bought, the 49ers helmet, was just sadly, slowly deflating into the corner. And who won? The Chiefs. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. So
Yeah.
This is what a 3 months this has been.
And I have to wake. I'm not gonna wake her, but I mean, she's gonna wake up in the morning. She's gonna ask me who won. I'm gonna tell her it's over, baby, and she's gonna be like, "Damn it, no more late nights. I have to go to bed on time now." But no, it's been fun. I told her today. I said when she went to bed, I said, "You know what? Win or lose," I said, it's the memories you make. I said, spending time with family and friends and enjoying Rangers hockey, even though it may not end up with a Stanley Cup ever again. I told her she always tell a story about when I was a kid. She wants the stories when I'm like younger, and so I told her the story about when I watched the '94 championship. I said that was 30 years ago. I said that was Daddy's 36. Daddy was 6 years old, and she's like, wow, it's a long time ago. Daddy's old. But I said, you know what though? Like I remember that clear as day. I said, one day I said, hopefully you'll remember, hang out with your father, watching a championship or just watching even tonight, watching tonight they lose. But I said, as long as you have the memories, like for me, I know the Rangers, the 2022 game, one of my favorite games ever was to hang out with TJ and Nick. We were in AC. They won that game against Pittsburgh. They didn't win a championship, but they won that overtime game with Panarin, and we were in the Irish pub in AC, and we were going nuts. I mean, win or lose, there's always those great memories with your friends and family. So at least we have that to take with us as Rangers fans. We have something to hang our hat on. It's not
I
great,
trade half of yous and the memories with yous for the fucking cup right now. I don't give a shit, bro.
Yeah, I know you did say that.
All right. Like,
I know. I'm trying to be positive here. There's a lot of negative.
I appreciate the positivity, but I'm sitting here ready to fucking sacrifice my left foot. It's like, listen, devil, I can't give you my soul, but we can start with body parts that I don't need. Like,
yeah.
I can fucking walk with a limp, buddy. Like I can get one of those robotic legs and look awesome.
When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen?
I tweeted. I said I'll go to church next Sunday if they're gonna get me. If they have them
you can't bargain with God like that. You bargain with the devil.
Real bargaining.
Yeah, dude, it's frustrating. The worst part is knowing how hard this road is to travel, and the deeper you get, the more it becomes an opportunity wasted if you don't go all the way. And that's essentially what this turns out to be. It's a wasted opportunity, a good opportunity at a cup, and the Rangers let it go by. And honestly, I'm not sitting there and saying like they had no heart, no effort, but they didn't bring the effort to win a cup. They just didn't. They didn't have that desire to lay it all out there and win. And Florida wanted it more, and it was evident. Like, what else can you do?
Just turn up a little bit more. Just turn up a notch, and they just could not find that notch.
But it's like the third time we've said that. Like, I get to the end of the season like this, and I'm like, you saw it last year.
How many times are we going to Panarin in the past? Because Zibanejad was the most noticeable that didn't show up, but Panarin's like, this is his thing to not show up in the postseason, right? Like, this is every year we seem to be talking about how he gets us there and then just stops showing up. Like, oh yeah, I'm here for 82 games. That's it, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, and then the coaches, we've cycled the third coach now, Vigneault, Gallant, and Laviolette now, and it's like it always ends the same thing. I look across and I'm like, the other coach has convinced you to play their style, and that's how it ends. And it's like, what? Why does this end the same way every single time?
That's what we had between Vigneault and Gallant, though. We had, what's his name?
Quinn.
He was terrible.
Yeah, that was bad. It's just it ends this. I mean, again, it's the same freaking thing.
Yeah, I mean,
when are you going to watch us impose our will on somebody and everybody being saying, "Wow, they're really dominating the game. The other team's really lucky to keep up."
Yep.
I want to go into a playoff series and the Rangers be the betting favorite throughout the playoffs.
That'd be
when are we going to be that team? Because any team that had our record going into the playoffs would have demanded that kind of showing as far as the odds go. And Vegas had us pegged once again. Like, they're not making
the Capitals series. Like, I know the Capitals, we walked through the Capitals and wasn't that big of a series. It was a sweep. But even that, yet ESPN, I know ESPN's terrible, but ESPN picking the Capitals to beat the Rangers in the first round as the President Cup champion, a team that squeaked into the playoffs. It's just so much disrespect that was towards the Rangers, and like I kind of get a little bit of it now because they just didn't show up in the series, and they were good in the Kane series. They won the first 3. They swept the Capitals, and then it came to playing the big guns again in Florida. They just could not get it done. They're
too soft.
The Rangers are like Al Gore in Florida. They just can't win there.
Well, Brian Rust from the Penguins said, I remember I screenshot. He goes, "I think we would have beaten the Rangers if we had made the playoffs instead of the Capitals." And I was immediately like, "You coward! First of all, you didn't make the playoffs because you suck."
And the amount of disrespect that's allowed to be thrown at like the fact that you're allowed to make that statement and nobody like hit you with a chair.
Yeah.
Like, what? What did you say?
The thing is, too, is like I knew once they started getting dummied by the Hurricanes, I was like, oh, I was like, oh no, no.
The momentum started to just die off.
We avoided a Game 7 due to Chris Kreider's hat trick.
That's what it took. It took a Herculean effort by Chris Kreider.
He pulled that out of his ass.
Yeah.
Good night. Thanks for spending some time with us.
Yeah.
We're putting everybody to sleep right now with just our misery. Yeah, like I'm about to go take a fucking dirt nap. Forget 8 hours of sleep.
Good night.
About to end it all.
Into the long morning.
Oh my God. I'm just gonna go stand on a bridge somewhere and contemplate life. So I'm just gonna drive up like, sir, do you need help? Like I'm a Ranger fan. It's like, all right, working out.
That's right. Oh, there was somebody else down there. You're all right. Just go walk about a block or two that way.
No, they're like, sir, you're a Rangers fan? Oh, there's actually a line over there. You just get on that line over there and wait your turn.
Now the air pulls up. It's like, oh, Ranger fan. We'll make our way to somebody we can actually save. Sorry about that, buddy.
Yeah,
DoorDash is making a delivery around to this area. You just type in promo code Rangers fan. They'll deliver you a bottle of champagne or not champagne, but Colt 45 right to your house.
Nice Miller High Life, the champagne and beers.
Yes, right. You don't get the real champagne, sir. You get you get the champagne.
I'm still a sucker for the champagne and beers. If I go someplace and they got like $2 Miller High Lives, I'm like, yeah, give me the life. Let's do it.
100%. I was somewhere. I think it was in Nashville, and they had the champagne and beers. It was $2 a beer. I said
every time.
I said,
you're going to give me those deals, I'll take them every time. In Pennsylvania, when we go to PA and they got Yingling on tap for like $2, it's like, let's go.
You might as well play the Happy Gilmore, go to his happy place right there, carrying around jugs of jugs of High Life.
Good times.
I used to go to, I don't know if you know this bar, but in New York playing Griff's Lane, Griff's Place. Remember Griff's Place?
Yeah, Griff's Place. Yeah.
We used to go there.
Sponsor our baseball team.
Yeah, me and my friends used to go there. The Miller Highs were $1.25. I would drink so many, and I would give the guy my credit card, and he'd be like, "Hey, sir, we have a $20 minimum." I'm like, I drank so many, I'm fucking wasted. I'm like, all right, give me a bag of chips. He's like, that's not enough. I'm like, all right, give me a shot of Jameson then. And he's like, all right, now I'll put you over. I'll definitely put you over.
Oh my God.
Just to finish that with a shot of Jameson, but having like 15 Miller High Lifes, not beating.
Let me get a palate cleanser.
Oh my God.
Dude.
Good times.
Miller, like the
beer or the player?
Miller. He'll like 99% of the time, it's like, man, that guy's a player. And then he gets his stick lifted. And you're like, what the fuck was that? Yeah. And then that seals the deal. It's like he'll play a perfect, like, wow, that guy looks like the best defenseman we have. Oh, stick lift, slide across, Hedel, Schneider, backdoor goal. What just happened?
Yeah.
I got to say, Miller becomes way more effective just looking by not being on the line with Trouba. Like when you separate them, because they both get beat on the exact same plays.
Yep.
And that's what it just like, it looks devastating. So, and you can't have Trouba likes to pinch in on weird times, and Miller will try to join a rush, and that combination is always terrible. And yet it takes shitty games to figure out like, oh, let's separate these guys. And then the defense amazingly becomes more consistent. I'm not saying they became lights out. We still making bullshit, unforced errors. Like that's one thing with Schneider. I don't know what his deal is, but the amount of pucks he let that just come up the boards to him and all he has to do is keep it in the offensive zone. And amazingly, it's as if his stick has a huge hole in it.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get that.
I need more Zach Jones. I need Brandon Hoffman. And Hoffman has to be up next year.
You would hope, but dude, he kind of took a seat back. He went from a 50-something goal season to like a 20-something goal season, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's for whatever reason, what we see of him, the Rangers aren't impressed right now enough to force bringing him up. So,
but this team needs to change. There's got to be a lot. Drury has to do some work this offseason. He thinks this team's gonna make a Stanley Cup next year,
unless you have McDavid or Draisaitl. Look at the teams that are left. Like, it's always the Hurricanes, it's always the Stars, it's always the Panthers. It's these teams that are huge. They play two ways. They have four lines, and this is the year I thought, I was like, we got four lines. Like,
we have 4 lines.
Like,
that's what I thought too. I was like, we have depth. We have depth.
Rempe scored the first goal of the playoffs, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, our fourth line scoring this. Hey,
Yeah.
But you look at it, and it's teams that just waves after wave after wave get the like.
And we about fourth line. Barclay Goodrow had what 6-7 goals.
Yeah.
This postseason. Like he's better than Panarin, Zibanejad.
Well,
it's depth, and it's just. I was like,
I have a feeling we see Capo Caco get moved.
Nah, he's done. I think he's gone. I know we like him.
No, that's what I'm saying. I think he doesn't fit into this Ranger team, and they're not going to wait on him anymore. If they can get something from him, they're going to get something from him. I think what I want to see next year is Rempe be an everyday fourth line player. Like, he's got to be out there nonstop at this point.
He's got to be playing more than that. I think I don't.
You got to season him into being a playoff guy. Like, let him learn how to be play that role. Essentially, like Barclay Goodrow. Barclay Goodrow's there to play a role, and he doesn't make mistakes. And he ended up having to fucking step up to an offensive role, which is really not his forte.
Nope.
But you could train Rempe to be that guy, to not only have to play 4 minutes a night, but in a playoff series, go out there and bang bodies for 10, 15 minutes.
And that was I think that hurt them. Like, I get he's young and they didn't really trust him, but that hurt them because it shortened the bench every third period. And when you go against a team like Florida Panthers where they put it on you on the third period.
And the fourth line did not cost the Rangers any games. The fourth line didn't cost us bullshit goals. No. Mika Zibanejad cost us games.
Yes.
He cost us 2 games in a row.
Yep.
So you're essentially saying this guy only plays 4 minutes because we got to get the first line out there, and the first line is the one who's killing your fucking team.
Yep. I agree 100%. But and it's funny too, because whenever we came on these games the Rangers won, we were always like, TJ Hall from the negatives. But you were right, TJ. You had the negatives down. And everything you said came to
hear that, babe? Yeah. You said I was right.
Gotta
let him know.
Wait, what was that? What did you used to say?
So we used to come on like throughout the postseason, and we would be like, "Our Rangers won," and the teacher would be like, "They didn't fucking do this, they didn't fucking do that," and we're like, "TJ, they just won. Like they're up 3-0, they're up. They just won a series. Like we were all happy, like enjoying it." He'd be like, "But they're not getting through Florida if they don't fucking do this, they don't do that," and we were all just like, "TJ, take it easy. Stop the negative stuff. Let's be positive here." And everything he said has been right. I mean, when it came to the Florida series, they just didn't have it. They weren't there. And he was right. He was a negative Nancy over all of it. We were trying to enjoy the.
Not about being negative. It's just I can't be a casual fan and be sitting there happy about what they're doing when it's like you can get away with it with the Capitals. Sure, you can get away with it with the Capitals. You know, we could bring in a fucking couple of junior teams and they can get away with some shit with the Capitals.
Even against the Canes.
Yeah.
Not fast. Hey y'all.
I mean, you all saw.
Hello, welcome to the misery.
Hey,
I was as soon as I saw the matchup, I was like, let me go look and see. Let me go see if I can remind myself of what they. Oh no! And I saw the win-loss record. I was like, this is not.
Listen, it wasn't a secret that we definitely wanted Boston. We stacked up a little better against Boston, but there's a reason Boston wasn't there, right?
Yeah.
And you got a Florida team that's just hungry and determined, and is just going to outplay you. Dude, that's like Florida's a 100-minute team. They're a team that can play consistently, probably 100 minutes of game time if they needed to.
Yeah,
100%.
I thought beating the Canes. I'm like, okay, they're very similar. They're very, very similar to the Hurricanes. I'm like, all right, we can play this kind of stuff. And then it's just you realize how much better. I don't know that Florida does the man-to-man like Carolina does, which is their kind of thing. But they play a very similar offensive game, which is cycle. So I don't know. I
Bobby Fast is calling for the bread man.
I think there's names are flying
he has a no trade
around.
clause, doesn't he?
I don't know the contract. I gotta look at the contract, but
Either him or Zibanejad or both have no trade clauses.
Lonnie wants the bread man to make his last delivery today.
Yeah, listen, I would love it. Listen, what he does in the regular season, and talking about it after the season that he just had, like it's crazy to have to say that. But I'm with you, Lonnie, on the fact that just getting to the playoffs and then giving up doesn't really do much for us.
No,
like you can't. It's a tease.
Well, God, dude, they're sitting there interviewing Kachuk after the game, and I'm just sitting there yelling at the TV. I'm like, why? He did nothing for like 4 games. Go interview Sam Bennett. Go interview Bobrovsky. Go interview Barkov. Like,
right?
Is he the only one that speaks English? I mean, he can't be, but it's just like they want to put him as the face of the Panthers, and I'm like, he did nothing for like 4 games.
Yeah.
No, I blame both you guys for not doing handlebar mustaches. That's just saying.
That's true.
I put it out there for like 10 minutes. I was like, I was going to do it, and I deleted the tweet. I was like, we didn't get enough votes in like 10 minutes, so I was like, I'm not doing this shit for fucking 6 votes.
That's right.
Brooks like, come on, do it.
And then I got so much shit for putting it out there. I was getting ragged by the group message. So
you got to do something though. When you see a team just like absolutely hit a wall and is just struggling to gasp for air, it's stalling out. You got to make a desperate move, right? Sometimes you got to ditch the plane and fucking pull the parachute and figure shit out, on the way down to earth, right? You can't just sit there and ride it to the fucking ground like, this plane's all right.
Hey, that's why I'm wearing glasses tonight. The last 2 times the Rangers won, I was wearing glasses.
What if the Rangers go after Brady Tkachuk somehow?
How do they free up money, though?
I don't know. Whatever you have to do, go fund me.
The Rangers have contracts that you can't move money. Like, no one's going to pick up Trouba. Nobody wants his contract, right? No one's going to take that on. So
I hate Matt Tkachuk because he reminds me of Steph Curry with chew on the fucking mouth guard hole. Fucking chew.
Doesn't do anything.
Doesn't do anything.
Nothing.
Him and Steph Curry chew on their fucking mouth guard.
This is like the key right here. Like fucking, you're right. 49 goals during the regular season. Listen, it gets us there, but I'm fine. Just what's it called? I'm fine. I would have rather the Rangers make it in on like the 7th or 8th seed, and everybody show up and play like a team and a unit instead of like, oh hey, look, that guy that we like leaned on all year long to score goals, the goal of the game guy. Yeah, he's not going to show up anymore. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
God,
like imagine how bad it would be if Igor Shesterkin decided not to show up for the playoffs. We'd be done in Series 1, round 1 every year.
He said NMCs is an issue, and the bottom 6 needs to change.
Here's what Ryan Whitney said. He goes, this was an hour ago. When will the Rangers chip the puck in at the offensive blue line and go get it? They're outnumbered at least 5 times and have tried it. Dangling through Florida, you don't do that to them. It's like, but you can't chip it in. We don't have the guys to chip it in. You can't chip it in.
Right.
Like Whitney, I know that's like what you would normally do, but you're talking about a bunch of guys who don't do that. Like that's not what they've been doing. Is chip it and go get it. That's not. You're asking them, and that's what they essentially end up doing.
The Rangers need one guy, at least one guy that can carry the puck through the neutral zone, and they don't have that guy. They just don't. Like. How are you not able to carry the puck through the neutral zone at all? They're getting nailed at the fucking red line. Forget about the blue line. Get it to the blue line and chip it in. That piece of ice between the red line and the offensive blue line, that you might as well add that to the offensive zone because the Rangers would have the same amount of time of offensive zone possession. They could barely get it to the fucking red line and get it in. It's insane. And then when you have Mika Zibanejad coming across the red line and hitting the defenseman in the fucking stomach 4 or 5 times a series with the puck and not being able to get it deep, it's like he takes up this much space. You have 100 feet. How did you put the puck in this space?
What are we doing? I think it was successful when they had Miller bringing it up, and Miller was getting through the zone because he's a big dude. He could get through the zone, and they just didn't.
Again, I will say it again, and everybody crucified fucking what's his name? What?
Not Drury.
No,
Ron Duguay.
Ron Duguay on Twitter. Everybody crucified him like this guy's a retard. Imagine this guy coach hockey, blah, 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 blah. It's like,
It would have worked.
dude, move Miller up to the fucking to wing, bring up Zach Jones, and then tell Miller, listen, we need you to bang bodies, be a big dude, but forget about joining the rush. Create the rush. You don't have to get back. Your job isn't to get back. There's create offensive rushes that for one game, you're going to tell me that wouldn't be worth the effort of trying?
It worked.
Miller was a forward. People are like, that's retarded. Miller was a fucking forward.
Game 5, it worked. They were doing it with him as a defenseman. And he was bringing the puck up to the zone, and he was getting it there. And I agree with you. I said before, I think I said Trouba should be shipped to the captain, give it to Trocheck, give it someone who gives a fuck. That's it. And he said this team goes through the motions. Well, yeah, 100%.
You can see it, too, whenever they do that. You're just like, oh, no.
Here we go. Here we go. This is it.
Well, that
second period, I was like, I didn't care anymore about watching. Thursday night was when the Rangers season ended for me. I was like, and I'm going to say positive that they're going to win Game 6, but Game 5 was it. I was pissed off Game 5. Right now, I'm not as mad as I was at the end of Game 5.
We heard a lot of it. They're like, oh, the game's tight checking, and it's this. And I'm like, that's not what we've been watching all year. Like,
no.
Right.
You can't be up there giving. That's what Paul Maurice says. It's not what you say. Like, that's not what, like, you're not a tight checking team. You can't just flip your identity in the Eastern Conference Finals to be like, you're all of a sudden going to win board battles and be a gritty team. Like, that's just not.
No, I agree. And I think we've been going on this beating a dead horse for quite some time.
Yeah, we've definitely beaten this horse. But, I mean, to look at the bright side, guys, it was a fun season, right? We got to have a little bit of fun, a lot of interaction between us, which was fun. We had ghost crabs on the line, right? Handlebar mustaches being talked about, a lot of silliness. We no longer have to be in fear of listening to Emily Kaplan on a regular basis, which is good.
Hey, TJ, the Rangers just lost. How do you feel? Like, that's pretty much her question would be. That's her question. He'd be like, go to
she'll say something in Russian or Slovenian or something.
She'd be like, hey, coach, just so you know, the Rangers are down 1 goal. What do you think you guys need to tie this?
Yeah, right.
A goal?
You can apply her tact for questions to any part of life. Like fucking, oh, hey, Gordon Ramsay, these people are hungry. What are you going to do for them? Cook. Thank you very much. What the fuck? Like that. Oh, my God. So at least we don't have to endure that anymore.
She'll go to Paul Maurice. Like, you guys are up 1 goal, and you guys need about 25 minutes to get to a Stanley Cup final. How do you feel? We feel pretty good. We just do tack one more on, and hopefully just feel what we're doing because the Rangers can't
just you know what would fix this is just one person being like just obscenely honest, like in that situation. Like, how do you feel? You're 5 minutes away from going to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's like, I'm honestly just going to pull my dick out right now. I'm just going to start waving at everybody.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to find my pants for the next 3 days. My wife and kids are not going to speak to me after I come home. After binging on cocaine and Labatt Blues for the weekend, like that would end it right there. It's like, holy shit, we can't ask people oh fuck.
How do you feel?
Yeah,
4 goals total. I'm like, last 3 elimination games they scored. They lost 2-1 to Tampa in 2022. I think they lose what? What did they lose in the Devils game? I don't remember.
All I know is they weren't in the Devil series at all, so it didn't matter.
Oh my gosh, that was embarrassing.
It was like 3. We went to Game 7, didn't they? It went to Game 7, didn't it?
6. Did they lose to the Devils in 6? I could be wrong. It might be 7.
I remember they had Game 7, and it was like, because the Rangers went the Rangers up 2-0, and they won a game and make it 3, and then the Devils won Game 6. They brought it to Game 7 in the Garden, and it's like, but anyway,
right.
That's a good.
I think they lost a game like 3-1 too, and then they only scored 1 goal today. So there you go.
You're absolutely right. No desperation.
But last year we were shut out. Yeah, you're right. It was Tampa. Tampa says we scored a goal. I remember that. Yeah, it was 2-1 because I made that video today about how we keep fucking losing. So the hype video. Try to turn it around, but no desperation. Lost Game 7. 4-0. Yeah.
The no desperation is like, at what point are you like, okay, when they're in this situation again, they're going to have desperation because
a lot of ambulances in my neighborhood. I can hear them rolling around.
It's for all the
bunch of Ranger fans just fucking ending it all tonight. It's not worth it, folks. There's always next year.
I remember, like I said, the memories living with your friends and family. That's the important part. Spending this time with them. Being miserable.
Remember where we were when we lost and didn't make the cup again?
As I said before, I think we're
when Daddy's liver used to function properly.
We're running long. We're beating a dead horse.
That wasn't a horse.
Beating a dead horse. Horse.
No, that was a mule.
Beating dead horse.
It was one of the thoroughbred that we had to take out after the Kentucky Derby and be like, well, hey, you lost again. So
yeah, right.
Shotgun
we got to stop riding Blue Factory fucking bound horses. That's the problem. Well, it was fun, boys. I look forward to doing this again next year. I really do.
Yeah, it was, and on the bright side, we all got to hang out and yell about the Rangers more. That was fun.
Yeah,
I remember when they used to win.
Yeah, listen. We find every year we find more and more people where we could probably start our own army at this point. It's like, hey, if you beat us, we're gonna come tear down your stadium. Like that's the new threat. Like you might be better than us, but we have enough people to come there and dismantle your stadium, and we'll do it.
That's true. Well, for the last time this year, this is our last post
dance. Donna Summers.
This is our last post-game podcast for the New York Rangers of the 2023-2024 NHL season. Stanley Cup playoffs as they've been eliminated. And we are sorry for all you Rangers fans who have to deal with this once again.
You're triggering somebody's ASMR. Like somebody's sitting there like, I don't know what I should do. Should I drop trowel? What's going on right now?
I'll do this too, little.
I feel odd.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the mic out here.
Thanks for hanging out, Lonnie.
Yeah, thank you for everybody hanging out and commenting.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. That was my NPR voice.
Thank you for fucking hanging out with us, dude. Because I mean, it's always good to be miserable in numbers.
Yes. I want to. I love it because I want to know. Like, I'm miserable. How miserable are you? And what did you try to do to not be miserable?
I want to hear. Like, I want to see people just tweeting at us like, "Hey, I put my remote control through the drywall, so that's what I'm doing Sunday morning, patching it up. Like, I'm with you. I appreciate you.
Now that we're done with the Rangers, we're now becoming an ASMR podcast.
I'm already getting people bookmark our tweets fairly frequently because of the way.
Anyway, thank you for joining us. We appreciate all.
So you're just getting the comeuppance right now.
I'm getting a lot of receipts right now.
Oh, well,
don't worry, I'll do it again next year. I don't care. I can care less. It's Twitter.
Who gives a shit?
We say dumb shit all the time. It happens. But AK, thank you again. We always love hanging out with new Ranger fans, and listen, it was a fun season until it wasn't. Listen, only one person's gonna win. Florida Panthers obviously better. Sucks, but maybe next year. Maybe next year will be our year. Maybe lucky 31. Hey, lucky 31. Maybe it will be Igor's 31 years.
There you go.
31. Let's go. Next year.
And at the very least, at least we're not the Islanders or the Devils, and we consistently make the playoffs. So this is always a possibility versus shooting your load one year and then chasing for 8 more years in a row.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, thank you guys. We appreciate everyone listening and following with us, and check us out every Thursday anyway on the That Sports Podcast Network, talking all about New York sports, Yankees, Mets, not much Mets, but Yankees, Giants, Jets, as the football season is rapidly approaching now. And that's it. And AK, check out Millie Goats. You guys are on Tuesdays?
We go Wednesday nights, Sunday nights, 9:30. We'll be on tomorrow night. Also, I'm a Niners fan, so if we want to do a special Monday Night Football, Jets versus Niners.
Let's do it. I'm not a Jets fan. I'm a Giants fan. So if we play the Giants this year, we'll do one too.
Well, yeah, we played them this past year. I remember that. That was a Thursday night game. That was an ugly game. Anyway, sorry. I digress.
Absolutely. No. We're in. That works. We could talk about hopefully Aaron Rodgers actually showing up, making some plays.
Maybe he won't split an Achilles immediately.
Swear if you say Brock Purdy's not that good, I will come through.
He's assistant quarterback. He's assistant QB.
Don't you start that right now.
All right.
I was arguing with my sister-in-law about that today.
Well, for the last time for the 2023-2024 season. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Maybe better luck next year, Ranger fans.
Igor's better than Bobrovsky. Stop
He
it.
still is. We know he is.